Yeah, we're good.
All right.
Yeah, that's a big panic moment.
I won't say maybe they've been phased, but they don't show it. They just have really great response. Anytime somebody does something on us, they come back and return it. So they have that fire and that grit and that they're not afraid of outcomes. They're just ready to go to work, go back to work.
All right, Coach, we've seen a different pitcher each inning. What can we expect the rest of the way in the circle for you?
I think KD's going to hold on as long as we can. Sam's there if we need her, but we're trying to make this a staff day today.
Awesome, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, man, when the four-peat World Series champ coach is doing an interview, you cannot start this game.
Well, yeah, and first of all, it just is a safety issue. She's on a headset while play is happening. She's like on the field, and she needs to be in her third base coach's box. Duh. Like, she has to be out there.
Probably catching some chatter over there. Maybe from her son, JT.
She said coming into the weekend that DJ, this is her saying this, he won't unfocus me. He does that. He's knows
right
how.
There.
Look, right
Top
there.
Top step of the dugout.
He's talking. Is he talking to her or just talking?
How fun is that for her, though? In her own dugout, first base line, her son JT. On the third base side, DJ.
It has to be so fun for her. She's just so proud.
Yeah.
You can tell she's proud of the coaches that they are, the men that they are, the fathers that they are.
Wow, that's a strike. Dealt by Reese Berline, her second strikeout. Passes the bat to Cassidy Pickering. Has reached twice today, including an infield single back in the second inning. Monster second inning for Oklahoma. All 6 runs coming in the second for the Sooners. This is roped up the middle and past the outstretched glove of Davison. And turning it into 2 is Pickering with a 1-out. Sid Sanders, in the words of her head coach, swinging more freely this year after feeling like she underachieved a little bit the last 2 seasons, which is a bit comical in its own right considering how well she played. A mile-high pop up to center. Pickering will stay put, 2 down.
That did go so high.
So now Gabby Garcia running a 2-for-2 afternoon with 2 driven in, including a homer in the second. And a reminder, we will chat with Courtney Deifel coming up next half inning. Her team climbing back into it with a great response in the bottom of the third, letting a pair of runs to draw within 1.
Patty Gasso said of Gabby Garcia, she's very business oriented. Came in kind of nervous, had a mom who played college softball exceptionally well at Arizona State, and kind of felt like maybe the expectations of wanting to.
Oh yeah, her second home run of the game.
At the right time.
On a chilly day. You know that didn't feel too good. What a tear Gabby Garcia has been on, a 12-game hit streak. 2 homers in this game, 4 hits in the series, 5 runs batted in. And it doesn't matter where they put her in the lineup. She is hot.
Well, and just continuing to answer back. Both of her home runs have been an immediate response after Arkansas scored. Back in the top of the 6th inning, she was the one that led top of the second inning when they scored 6 runs. She led off the inning with a solo home run to get them right back in it. And that was after Arkansas put up a 3 spot. Now she does it again.
Mom Kara at home, probably very proud watching her daughter in her freshman season. Meanwhile, Agbayani aboard for the 3rd time today, including a pair of walks to extend the inning for Oklahoma. And Courtney Deifel out of the dugout for Arkansas. We may see another pitching change for the Razorbacks. And indeed we will. It'll be Peyton Burnham coming in for Reese Berline, and the 4th arm used today by Arkansas.
Peyton Burnham threw well as she got the start in game 2 of the doubleheader yesterday. Another freshman on this Arkansas staff. One comes right after another, but I thought that she threw exceptionally well. She ended up giving up those 4 earned runs, but to start out the game in particular, she just looked really sharp. See if she can find that again. 4th pitcher of the day for Arkansas.
And another freshman in the circle for Courtney Deifel. I mean, this is baptism by fire for her freshman hurlers, taking on Oklahoma, one of the top offenses in the country. And Amanda, you talked about it too, this mystique associated with the Oklahoma Sooners program coming in not just 25-0 this year, but having won the last 4 Women's College World Series championships.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Deifel about how she's preparing, her pitching staff coming into this weekend, and she said it's easy to get caught up in Oklahoma's highlight reel, but it's important to remember that they still get out and swing at bad pitches. So it's just refocusing your pitchers, reframing them that despite them putting up these big offensive numbers in the national championships, remember they're still human and they still get out and swing at bad pitches, but they're very disciplined and very prepared, great barrel control.
Emmerling through the right side, and a 2-out base hit for the Oklahoma catcher.
You're talking about these close games, Matt, that Oklahoma has had to start out their inaugural SEC season. And I went back and looked at the first 5 games of their Big 12 season last year. They won on average by a margin of 10.5 runs in those first 5 games. Their first 5 games of SEC play been just 2.4 runs. That's how close these games have been.
Riding a 3-run lead here in this game thanks to the second circle for Oklahoma is Kirsten Deal. And you heard last half inning Patty Gasso say we're going to ride with KD as long as we can. May see some Sam Landry, who pitched twice yesterday in the doubleheader. Deal, of course, giving up 2 runs in her first inning of work last inning, and a first pitch strike to Carly Davison to start the 4th.
There's been a lot of long games these first 2 weekends in SEC play. Oklahoma's game against South Carolina last weekend, game 1 of their doubleheader. They played back-to-back weekends with doubleheaders. I think it was 3.5 hours long. But then game 2 of the doubleheader was like an hour and 20 minutes. So life has a funny way of balancing itself out. Just another reminder of that. But also I think both teams were just so spent for that final game that run on fumes. Huge weekend though for Oklahoma at home to those 3 one-run wins.
Fly ball to center field off the bat of Davison, 1 down on the catch by Hannah Kaur. For Oklahoma, trying to start 6-0 in their inaugural season in the SEC. For a team that was not picked to win the conference. And how many times could you say that about Patty Gasso's teams in recent years playing in the Big 12? Not many. And, you know, she was talking about their schedule over the next few weekends with us before the game. And she said, man, this SEC thing is a different bear.
I mean, we've said it time and time again, and even before Texas and Oklahoma entered the conference, every weekend feels like a super regional with the level of competition, with the crowds who attend, with the intensity of every pitch.
This could find the grass. No, it's a diving catch in center field by Hannah Core, robbing a base hit of Kennedy Miller. 2 down in the 4th.
Already this season, Patty Gasso said that Hannah Core has saved games for us in center field because of her range and her ability to make plays like this. Doing it offensively as well.
So the base is empty, 2 down. 3rd time up today for Reagan Johnson. Pair of groundouts to Agbayani. Texas and Florida picked ahead of the reigning national champion Oklahoma Sooners in the SEC. Of course, Arkansas has won a couple of regular season championships in the last 5 years. First 2 in program history, both coming under Courtney Deifel. What she has built has been incredibly impressive considering where this program was when she took over a decade ago.
Yeah, getting the fan support, and you have to win to get this kind of crowd. I mean, let's just be honest. Nobody wants to show up to a game week in and week out, 3,000, 4,000 deep, if you're not thinking that your team.
Conversation about Texas and Oklahoma joining the SEC this year, Amanda. Texas going down to Gainesville and winning the first 2 games of that series with Florida.
A highly anticipated matchup between those 2 teams, and Texas swinging the bat so well. Tiki Kavan started 1 game, closed another, came in relief in another. A&M took the first 2 against Auburn. We'll play them later again today. And I will say too, LSU is looking really good. It's just there's so many good teams to talk about in this conference that it's easy to maybe not talk about one of the good teams as much because you have Oklahoma and Texas and Florida who are ranked the highest, but LSU are
Poll.
Katie Simmons for Texas yesterday almost had 3 home runs.
Oh, off the glove at second of Davison and cannot turn to make the play at first. And Abigail Dayton is aboard for the 3rd time today.
So she hit home runs in back-to-back at-bats, and then I think came up and the next at-bat after that, Kendra Falby robbed her home run in center field. Kendra Falby, one of the best center fielders in the country, Gold Glove winner.
Yes.
Just continues to do it as a senior.
Nellie McEnroe-Marinas has homered already in this game. 3 3-run homers for McEnroe-Marinas through the first 2 series of SEC play. Had a pair of them in the same game against South Carolina. Watch out for this one, and it just tails foul at the base of the wall.
She's just so clutch, and how can you not just love her swing?
What do you like about her swing, Amanda?
How quick she is. Yeah. I mean, she's just so strong, too.
An RBI double by McEnroe-Marinas.
So think about that for a second. The pitch before, she crossed.
Cassidy Pickering doubled in her last at bat. Well, now if you're Arkansas, you got to be careful here with the run rule looming for this Oklahoma Sooners offense. Chaney Helton comes in to pinch run at first base for Parker. First time we've seen Helton today. Already a 2-hit day for Cassidy Pickering, who, in the words of her head coach, is just a pure and natural hitter. You could say that about a lot of the players in the Oklahoma lineup. Needed that quick out in foul territory, caught by McDowell, 1 down.
Just go back to, Matt, that they're so good at taking advantage of mistakes, whether that's a walk, a hit by pitch, an error, a bad defensive decision that doesn't go down as an error. You never see it in the box score, but they see it and they just really push forward even harder. It kind of makes the other team feel even worse about it. I mean, it completely takes away your confidence, and that's what makes you feel like in the circle and on defense, you have to be perfect, because they do capitalize on those mistakes. You see it. You watch them play in the World Series and SEC Series and the Big 12 last year, wherever it is. That's what they do. That's how they play. They don't care about the opponent. That is their style of play, and they put so much pressure on the opponent.
Freshman Peyton Burnham with a 1-1 count. Heard her coach last half inning when we interviewed Courtney Deifel say she wanted to see more competition in the zone, not just from Burton, but from her entire staff. Anticipating that we'd see more pitchers at some point in this game. Another pop-up left side. This time off the glove of the catcher, Miller, but we'll get it down to second base to catch Chaney Helton. 2 down.
And I know you get an out there, but I'm not feeling great about that play if I'm Arkansas on defense. It just sends a message that we're not playing as sharp as we need to be playing on defense.
And now what do you do with Gabby Garcia here? Has reached base all 3 times she's come to the plate, including a pair of home runs. Go right after her, apparently. 0-1 from Burnham. That tracks with the MO of the freshman Peyton Burnham. Courtney Deifel told us she wants to go at everyone, and sometimes will leave it fat and has to learn a tough lesson, but she'd rather have that from a freshman than being timid going up against the top hitters in the country. And quickly has a 1-2 count to Garcia.
Robin Heron is getting loose in the bullpen, the ace of the staff for Arkansas, who started game 1, came in relief of game 2, both of those games being played yesterday in the doubleheader, but would love to have started her in game 3 when you're trying not to get swept, right? But because you played the doubleheader, you had to mix up how you used your pitching staff yesterday in order to try to get through the doubleheader, and then that led us to today in game 3, where we haven't seen both aces up to this point. And Sam Landry and Heron.
Just foul off the bat of Garcia. This will be a big out here for Burnham. Keep this a 5-run game going into the bottom of the 5th. And she gets a swing and a miss. Now the throw has to be completed from Miller, and not in time. Might have pulled Ellis off the bag as well. So the inning continues for Oklahoma.
It's just so defeating. I don't know any other way. It's crushing.
Patty Gasso's going to make a change here. Another pinch runner will come in. Sydney Barker will pinch run for Sanders at second. And now Alana Agbayani at the plate with 2 on and 2 down. Drives it into center field, and it's caught on the run by Reagan Johnson to end the inning. Arkansas down 5 as we head to the home half of the 5th. Pop up to the left side and caught at short by Gabby Garcia, 1 down.
And I feel like with the way that Nellie McEnroe-Marinas plays and how much we have to say her name, and it is a mouthful. It's a tricky one to say, but maybe she just goes by one name and we just, call her Nellie like Madonna or something. I mean, she's playing like she deserves just kind of that one name. Beautiful long name. It's a tongue twister.
Yeah. Kobe. People know who you're talking about.
I know Nellie now. There she is. Let's watch her play defense, too. We have not gotten to see Oklahoma's infield have a lot of ground balls hit their way, to be honest. In the first 2 games, their infield flying all over the field, making plays left and right. Saw Hannah Core make that diving play in center field, but a lot of new faces on the infield. We talked about the offense lost, but on the defensive side of things, a whole different look. And even now with Sydney Barker going in at first base in replacement of Sydney Sanders, another new face on the infield.
This is lined into left field, headed towards the wall, and it hops over the top of the wall for a ground rule double by Kaylee Wyckoff.
Wait, I really thought that was going to be out to keep our theme going with at least a home run.
That's... Speaking of home runs, last time up for Bree Ellis, a 2-run shot for her 14th home run of the season to lead the nation. This is crushed down the line and left. Give her 2. Arkansas.
Bird almost threw 5 innings in this game.
The greatest home run hitter in the history of the Arkansas Razorback program. Of course, began her career at Auburn, hit a lot of those home runs there for the Tigers, but has continued it now in her career at Arkansas. And here comes Jen Rocha out of the dugout for Oklahoma. Activity in their bullpen. So it looks for now like Kirsten Deal will remain in the game. And another dangerous hitter at the plate here, Amanda, with Courtney Day, who has also homered this afternoon.
Yeah, which is why Jen Rocha, one of the best pitching coaches in the country, goes out to talk to Kirsten Deal and Bella Emerling and talk about approaching her and being careful here, knowing that Courtney Day is another home run hitter hitting behind Bree Ellis.
Finally seeing some home runs in this series from both teams. Had a couple yesterday from Oklahoma. 2 teams that rank in the top 25 in homers. Of course, Oklahoma top 5 in that category. But Arkansas no slouch of their own, particularly in this ballpark where it flies. The 1-0 to Courtney Day. Laser down the right field line and foul. It's funny, we were looking up the elevation of Bogle Park. It is one of the highest elevated SEC parks in the country at a whopping 1,300 feet above sea level.
I was a little winded walking up the stairs, and it's because of that elevation. That's what I like to tell myself. But they're plugging in Sydney Barker, another freshman over at first base, and just to give even better fielding defensive first baseman in replacement of Sydney Sanders. She's great, catches a lot of tough throws over at first base, but Sydney Barker, who is a freshman that you can just tell they're trying to find ways to get into the everyday lineup and giving her a ton of opportunities because of the way that she swings the bat. Came in as a shortstop, but we've seen her play right field and first base now too.
3-2 count now to Courtney Day. the Texas transfer in her final season of college softball. Launches this to center field. Tracking it is Core at the wall, and she makes it crashing into the wall, 2 down.
Hannah Core had to stick with that because, again, the wind is blowing from left to right. So that looked like it was going to go to dead center field. Instead, while it was in the air for so long, it pushes it to right center field, and she really had to stick with it. Looks like after that, good swing off of Kirsten Deal. We might have a pitching change. We'll see if Sam Landry comes into this game, the ace.
Well, you heard from both coaches. It was going to be a staff day for Oklahoma and Arkansas, coming off a doubleheader on Saturday. And we will see Sam Landry, who got the complete game shutout victory in game 1, going the distance in a 7-inning, 7-0 win, then came back in game 2 to close the door on Arkansas.
I think that Sam Landry has looked absolutely electric in her first year at Oklahoma, transferring from Louisiana, where she had a solid career, but the way that she has looked this year she's hit another level. Whatever the level is above where she was, and the level like above that's
opponent of the season so far. Had some nice wins over Baylor and San Diego State, Cal State Fullerton. None as big as Arkansas, particularly on the road. I'd say she's handled it pretty well.
I think she has stepped up in a big way. Pitched a little bit in the midweek against Tulsa after missing some games due to an injury. So she was out for, I don't know, about 10 to 14 days, somewhere in there, and showed up in the midweek game. And then has pitched in every game of the series this weekend.
We'll take on Ella McDowell here, the starting third baseman for Arkansas. 2 down and the bases clear in a 3-run game in the bottom of the 5th. Razorbacks plating 2 on the 2-run homer by Bree Ellis.
And when you look at her numbers, too, based off of what she did last year at Louisiana, she's getting more chases with her rise ball and drop and changeup by 15 to 30% more. Hitters are chasing those pitches, and more swings and misses. Swings and misses on her drop ball is up by 30%.
You mentioned Jen Rocha being one of the best pitching coaches in the country. Sam Landry talked about the fact that Jen Rocha was a big reason why she ended up at Oklahoma when she intended to stay at Louisiana. But a late coaching change, she hops in the portal and has added another level to her game. Missing inside on a 4-pitch walk to Ella McDowell. So the inning continues for Arkansas.
And I feel like this could be a little bit of a challenge for her, pitching so much yesterday after a little bit of time off. And two, you're going up against different quality of competition than what they faced in the non-conference. Important to point out, Oklahoma, in terms of their strength of schedule for non-conference opponents this year, is 233 ranked out of just over 300 Division I teams. So played a bit of a quote-unquote softer non-conference schedule, knowing that Patty Gasso was going to have a lot of new faces, a lot of youth wanting to travel to mid-major programs to help out their programs, get some attendance records and bring in some revenue and money. There were different reasons for it, but the bottom line is when you look at the numbers, they played a soft non-conference schedule. And so that's why everybody has been tuned in last weekend to South Carolina and this weekend on the road here in Arkansas, because they're playing the best competition now in SEC play, and still, despite that soft non-conference schedule, finding ways to win and shine.
5 straight walks to start Landry's appearance out of the pen. The 1-0 to Rio. 5 straight balls, I beg your pardon. Comes back with a strike after the visit to the circle by Emmerling. And now quickly 1-2.
Such good velocity, very good spin, movement, deception, especially with the pitch calling from Jen Rocha, using her tools to the highest potential.
She She was a proven winner in 3 seasons at Louisiana, led the Ragin' Cajuns in wins in all 3 seasons on campus, and was top 10 in the nation last year with 24. Pitching on the biggest of stages now in the SEC.
Just using her drop balls so much more. Last year, that was a pitch that she just used about 19% of the time. This year, using it close to 30% of the time, and just the result of that pitch even better with more chases, more swings and misses, sets up her other pitches so well.
2-2 to Rio with McDowell at first. And a straight